This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. So then this process, how long will this process affect recruiting?
It won't. And here's why. Again, this is something somebody very close to Mario Cristobal told me. This is why it won't. Because in his mind, he has a offensive line and defensive line coach. And both of those guys, in his opinion, can recruit and sort of hold the fort down, because those are the two biggest positions of need for Miami. So when it comes to recruiting talent and bringing guys in, he feels like, look, I've got guys in place at the positions where we need the most help. And I've also got two elite recruiters in McClendon and now Kevin Smith, the running backs coach, where they can go and recruit other positions if we need them to.
And you can argue that, your two line coaches might be your most important coaches.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the foundation, dude. If you don't win on the lines, you're not going to win anything more often than not. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
At least you can solve, because I know. Look, the Dolphins haven't solved. During the last tenured guy, they couldn't find an offensive line coach, and so that's the good thing. And I got to figure that offensive line coach. I know he brought him from Oregon, but obviously going to be good because. That's Mario's thing too. So, that's going to be a strength on this team.
And here's something else I will add. Okay. I had the podcast I did yesterday with Rudy Fernandez on the Wide Right. I'm going to plug it only because it was a really good interview with Rudy, who obviously is the chief of staff at Miami, obviously hired Mario, hired Dan Radakovich. He is essentially the most connected man at the University of Miami because he works for Julio Frank, and they run it from the top. We talked about support staff, right? Which is something that we didn't really get a clear answer on. And I'm going to report this at some point for The Athletic, but I'm sharing it here with you because I work for you, brother. We're a team. He talked about on my podcast yesterday about support staff. And this is one example Rudy gave me. At Clemson last year, where Dan Radakovich was, there were 12 members of the support staff of that were hired in addition to assistant coaches, quality control, analysts. There were 12 additional people. So when you broke down Clemson's roster, divide 100 by or 90 by 12. Okay, what number that comes out to? What one person has every 6 or 7 kids, right? They're assigned to 6 or 7 kids. Guess how many support staff members were at the University of Miami last year?
3. Wow.
1. So wow. I know from talking to somebody very
that's a lot of support. That's a lot of support, by the way.
That's just one example of there's going to be now 12 people essentially at Miami doing a job that one person was doing last year. Okay. And so, for instance, defensive line, right? Well, you think, oh, they're just going to have a defensive line coach. No. Oh, they're just going to have a defensive line quality. No, they're going to have 3 and 4 people at every single position based with support staff, which is what the Alabamas, the Georgias, and the Clemsons do.
Right.
And that's why these kids, you talk about, man, who's coaching these guys? Well, it's pretty hard to get a bunch of kids who don't spend nearly the amount of time the old Hurricanes did in the 80s and 90s around the team, because there are hour requirements of how much time you can spend with the kids, right?
Right.
Or hour maximums that you can spend. Now these other people that are part of support staff, well, guess what? They get to be around them, and they get to coach them 24/7 when you're not around. You got it? And that's the difference. And that's the difference. And that's why you say, man, why does Mark Pope still not run the right route? Right? Or why does Gervin Hall try to tackle his own teammates? Well, guess what? That shouldn't happen anymore, because there's going to be somebody in his ear 24/7 as part of support staff, who it's going to be their job and their responsibility to make sure these guys are 100% ready to play a game.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.